Hi there, my name is Henry Tenby, and I'm flying on 4Y079, which is the new Eurowings service. It's an A330. I've flown on Lufthansa business class before, but this is my first time with Eurowings. I flew the 747-400 upper deck out of Vancouver, and that was a few years ago now, so I'm looking forward to comparing the two services. Most enjoyable, the 747-400 flight. Now this is an A330 and it's an ex-Lufthansa machine, I believe. We're 8.5 hours airtime Toronto to Frankfurt. So we're arriving at 8 o'clock a.m. tomorrow morning, and I'm in seat 1K for this service, and I'm looking forward to sampling it. So yeah, it should be a fun time.
So this photograph shows my exact seat as I arrived at it for the first time, with a blanket nestled by the window side and a small shopping bag that was presented on the armrest, which was a nice gift. And this photo shows the business class cabin as the passengers were boarding and getting settled into their seats, just to give you an impression of what the cabin looks like. Prior to our departure, the chief flight attendant walked through the cabin and introduced herself and presented the menu for our review. I decided to select the salmon for my dinner, which I'll show later. And as you can see, they provide a nice breakfast prior to our landing in Frankfurt. And before leaving the gate, I just put my feet up to give an impression and to see what it would look like once I'm in relax mode, once we took off. But as you can see, there's a good amount of leg room here. There's a small little table where you put your feet up. I've got my pillow sitting on it at the time I took this video, but at least it gives you an idea of the amount of space in the seating area and the legroom area, which I think is pretty good.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening from the flight deck. My name is Christian Spullerkom. I will be your captain tonight, and with me on the flight deck my two colleagues, Captain Roman Fungerlings and First Officer Florian Scheier. From the three of us and on behalf of the entire crew, a very warm welcome on board. We are almost ready. At the moment 13 minutes behind scheduled departure time. I apologize for that. We had some traffic on the way out of the city, and also at the security here we were held quite a long time. So we'll do our best now to bring you to Frankfurt as quickly as possible. The good news is that we have a rather short flight time of 7 hours and 5 minutes. That means I expect a on-time landing there. Weather conditions for the flight, we expect some turbulence over the Atlantic, and in Frankfurt the weather is fair, a possibility of some fog, the temperature 8 degrees centigrade. I'm very happy to have you on board tonight. I wish you a very pleasant flight. We'll hold back on our announcements from the cockpit until we are close to Frankfurt. We'll give you an update then. Thanks very much and enjoy the flight.
Liebe Gäste, wir würden jetzt gleich gerne starten. Ich möchte Sie auch alle bitten, Ihren Sitzplatz einzunehmen. Vielen Dank. Dear guests, please do not take your seat. We're going to depart shortly. We can talk to you about everything later on. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Liebe Gäste, wir bitten Sie jetzt auch direkt um Ihre volle Aufmerksamkeit für die Sicherheitshinweise. Bitte legen Sie Ihre Kopfhörer für diese wichtige Ansage ab. Dear guests, we ask for your full attention for safety instructions. Please do remove your earphones for this important announcement.
Wir haben eine kurze Flugzeit und werden dementsprechend trotzdem damit rechnen, dass wir relativ gut nach Frankfurt kommen und werden Sie auch über die Ankunftszeit auf dem Laufenden halten. Dear guests, also very warm welcome from my side from the flight deck. Roman Fungerlings, my name, I'm the second captain on board of this aircraft. Unfortunately, the weather conditions are not that good for the time being. The visibility has gone quite down. Therefore, we are number 14 in the queue for departure. So we expect 30-minute time for taxi. That results in a stop-and-go taxi procedure. Therefore, we kindly ask you to remain seated with the seatbelts fastened and and we'll keep you informed about our departure as well as about our arrival time in Frankfurt. Thank you very much for your kind understanding, and we talk to you later on.
This is the Eurowings flight tracking system that they have on board the aircraft, and it shows an A340, but we were in fact on board an A330 aircraft. Now, a friend of mine who is a travel agent had a friend on the flight a few weeks earlier, and that friend told my travel agent friend that they were actually flying on an A340, and this is the reason for that misconception. Yeah, interesting fact. The fellow seated beside me went for a little walk, so this gave me an opportunity just to take a little video grab showing the immediate area at the front of the cabin. As you can see, there's lots of legroom. There's no concerns about lack of space being in the very first row, so that was all good. And once we got to a safe cruising altitude, the flight attendant served their first drink service and provided a sampling of somewhat luxury nuts. So that was well appreciated and a nice touch before we started our main meal service. And this is our pre-meal salad setup. It was very delicious. As you can see, there's a nice prawn salad with a green salad in the background and a vinaigrette sauce, which I very much enjoyed. The bread was of a high quality, possibly German, I'm not sure, but it certainly was a very satisfying pre-meal service, which I enjoyed. Alas, here is my main course, the salmon with spinach and tomatoes, small cooked tomatoes. There's a sauce on top. Some people don't like the sauces very much, but I found this meal to be most satisfactory. It was very filling and of a high quality. It was actually quite a large portion. I couldn't finish it. It was a lot of protein to eat before heading off to sleep, so I was just leaving a small amount behind. All things considered, I'd say I had a pretty good rest. Slept for about 3.5 hours. Thumbs up, I would say. It was about 7:45 that we were woken up by the flight attendants for our breakfast service, and the sun was just starting to rise. It was pretty much smooth sailing. There wasn't very much turbulence, so I slept well. And at this time, we were just crossing into UK airspace, mainland Great Britain. too soon, we were flying over the east coast of the UK, passing London and heading towards the east coast. And it was time for breakfast, which had now been served. And as you can see, we had a nice egg dish with more spinach. And there is a muesli with yogurt dish, which was actually very good. The video doesn't do it justice. There was a small set of pickles and tomato and croissant and bread, and it was actually a very substantial meal, which I thoroughly enjoyed, of course, with coffee, and it was a great way to start the morning.
Yes, hello again from the flight deck. We just commenced our descent towards our destination, Frankfurt. Approximately 80 kilometers west of Düsseldorf. After we pass by Cologne to heading to our west runway to Frankfurt, where we expect to land at 10 minutes past 9 local time. Frankfurt is expecting us with very calm and nice weather conditions, with sunny weather, cloudless sky, and temperature of 3 degrees and light winds. We're expecting approximately a delay of 45 minutes. So again, sorry for the delayed departure out of Toronto due to the low visibility procedures that took place in Toronto. We tried to make some time good on the way, but now we expect a delay of approximately 40 to 45 minutes. Nevertheless, we hope you enjoyed the service on board and the flight path so far, and we wish you a very nice day in Frankfurt for a good travel to a destination you're heading to. Thank you very much, and have a good day. Bye-bye.
And this is a video reference of the safety card for you safety card collectors out there. As you can see, the branding is Eurowings Discover. Pretty nice safety card, printed on plastic in the same style as Lufthansa's presentation of their safety cards. So yeah, nice to see this, and hope you enjoyed the safety card details. Unfortunately, on the negative side, the power for USB charging in my seat was not working, so I was unable to charge any of my devices. Absolutely dead as a doorknob in terms of power coming through, so I was drained down to 9% on my iPad. After breakfast, the time passed quickly, and all too soon we were starting to make our procedured turns into the Frankfurt air traffic control area. We're over the forest areas of outer Frankfurt and commencing our letdown to the airport. If you've flown into Frankfurt, you know that the prevailing winds are such that you typically approach over the city of Frankfurt, and that was the case for our arrival on this particular morning. Out of my window, you could see city center Frankfurt, which gave a very nice view, and the weather was clear and calm, setting up for a very nice morning in Frankfurt. And another familiar scene for early morning arrivals in Frankfurt is the busy freeway area around the airport, which was no exception on this particular morning.
guests are very warm welcome to Frankfurt Main International Airport. Local time is now 5 minutes past 9. I kindly ask you all to remain seated with the seatbelt fastened until we reach the final parking stand and the captain turns off the fasten seatbelt signs above you. Please be careful when opening the overhead compartments and please do leave nothing behind today. Please do not use your laptops at this time. Dear guests, I apologize that we were not able to bring you early to Frankfurt, which was caused by the weather conditions in Toronto. Nevertheless, I hope this causes not too much inconvenience to you all, and we wish you a very pleasant day here in Frankfurt and surrounding, or a safe and comfortable on the journey to your final destination. We hope to see you soon aboard one of our Discover aircraft in the not too distant future. Thank you, and take care, and goodbye for now.
Well, I'd like to give my review of the flight. It's just after 9 o'clock. We've arrived here in Frankfurt nicely. Comfort was excellent. I'd say it's very, very close, if not identical, to the Lufthansa onboard product. I slept very well. My bed was comfortable. Thought the food was good. The service was excellent. Now I've got to go check the baggage claim area to see how my bags come through. I've checked 2 large bags, so it'll be nice to see if they show up efficiently. So it's now an hour and a half since we landed. We touched down at 9:04. It's 10:35, and I still don't have one of my bags. So as a confirmed business class passenger, to have to wait 1.5 hours after arrival, I think that's not acceptable. My time is valuable, and that puts a whole ugly mark on the trip, in my opinion. It's substandard. I guess the new standard is substandard, and I think that's evident here. The whole thing just falls apart, and it's disappointing to me as a business class passenger that I have to wait. As I say, it's now exactly an hour and a half after we touched down, and my bag's still not here. So that kind of speaks for itself, I think. If you liked my video, please subscribe to the JetFlix TV channel. Thank you very much for watching.